Hi everybody. First of all, I wanted to thank everybody for coming to our first Technology Tidbit Tuesday, Triple T. And I wanted to share with you some of the highlights that we talked about this morning. My goal is that everybody is trying these tools and working with them and keeping an open mind. It's something new, it's something fresh. I think everybody will eventually really learn to enjoy these tools. So I wanted to help you guys. Everyone learns at different paces, and everyone is familiar with different things. So in an effort to help everybody, I'm making this like recap or this highlight video to allow you to go back and see things and try things out at your own pace. That's really what I want. I want everyone to try it and give it their best. Okay, so with Google Docs, collaboration is key. Okay, so some cool tips and some highlights that we talked about this morning was the idea that teachers, students, anybody who's using Google Docs can collaborate from anywhere. So how this would work. If you are sick one day and you still want to participate in your CLT meetings, you can actively be a part of the team through a Google Doc. You can comment, you can chat with your teammates while they're at school and you're at home. Students who are working on a project and they want to participate but they're not feeling the best that day, but they still want to be a part of the team. They can also contribute from home. So really the whole centerpiece of Google Docs is the ability to collaborate. Something else that I thought was important was the ability to save. Google Docs, any of the Google apps allows you to, it will save it automatically. As you're typing, Google Apps is saving your work. So there's no need to remember to save things. Something else is the revision history. This allows you to go back and retrieve an old version of your document. If you make a mistake, you can revert back to an older version of it. If you want to see a student and see which students are actively participating in a project, you will be able to see which students are participating, more or less. If a student accidentally makes a mistake and deletes something, you can revert back. So the revision history really gives the teachers insight and the ability to see what the kids are doing, which I think is important. And lastly, I shared a tip about having the ability to translate any of your documents into any language, really. The language translation is not perfect, but it's certainly, you're using the Google Translate technology to get a really good start into translating into different languages. So how can we use these things? Well, one of the things, and you've already been involved with this, is using it at our CLT meetings. We're still working through the kinks. We're going to iron out all of the little details, and I'm hopeful that everyone's keeping an open mind and that this will be a fairly smooth transition into using it as part of our CLTs. Feedback is always welcome, but we'll keep on keeping on with that. Something that we mentioned this morning was using our Google Drive as a potential place to store lesson plans. So grade levels could create worksheets or lesson plans for their specific grade level and share it. So this could be good for sharing between grade levels. And lastly, something that I didn't mention but is still an option is getting the students involved in writing their paper or typing their papers and allowing teachers to give instant feedback. So let me show you. Let me take you away from the slides and I'll actually show you these things in action. Okay, here we are in our document from this morning, and I've already talked to you about Google Drive, but I want to share with you some of the things that I highlighted in my slides. The first thing is the fact that Google Drive is always updating, so you can see all changes saved in Drive. So watch my cursor as I type. Okay, as I'm typing, you're noticing up here it says that it's saving. Okay, so I can go back and I can delete that. So Google Apps is always saving things for you. your revision history. So there's two ways to get there. The first way is to actually click on this. If I highlight this, you'll notice that it underlines, and I can click on it, and it will instantly open up my revision history, and I can go back. You can have less details, and it will basically it will group all the changes into days. Okay, and then it will talk about today. So the changes that happened were this morning and then just now. Or I can get more details, and this will break it every change that I've made. You get a lot more. So it's up to you what kinds of revisions you want to see. Okay, so I could click on one, and it will take me back to what the changes were. Let's see here. Here we go. So when I was working on this document, I actually took out all of this, and you can see that I deleted this. So it's showing me that that's why it's crossed out. So if I wanted to restore this version, I could press restore version, and it would bring back those things that I deleted. Okay. So if I wanted to revert back to a later version of it, I could go back and I could restore a later version. Okay, restore today at 5:43. So that's pretty cool. You can go back as far as you want. Okay, so if I wanted to bring this back, okay, so I do recognize that the revision did not take place. However, I'm going to give Google the benefit of the doubt and say that there have been some slow moments, but I'm hoping that they're going to improve their service over and over again. So the fact that I pressed the restore button, I might have to give it a little bit of extra time, but I'm going to say that if you're patient and you give it a little bit of time, it should restore. That's my piece on that one. So moving on. So we now have, so that's the revision history. You can see what changes have been made. You can restore back to an old document. The last thing is you can select all, Control A, and you can go to Translate Document, and it will make a second copy for you because you don't want to go over your original, and you can choose your language. So let's choose Spanish, and you click Translate, and it will actually open up another tab. And as I mentioned before, the translation may not be perfect, but it will certainly get you a good start. Okay, and one last tip. I mentioned in my slides how teachers and students can use this for the writing process. One feature that you're going to need to become used to is the comment feature. So you'll notice down here that I have this piece highlighted. This is how teachers can offer students feedback. So if a teacher is reading a student's writing and she has feedback, you can instantly make comments, okay? And it will actually, let's see, so if I wanted to highlight this and I wanted to comment on it, I would go to the comment button and I would say, what does this mean? Or can you give me more information? And you're going to comment. So as the student looks at their document, and goes up to and so they see that there's a comment that's highlighted. You can have a dialogue with the teacher. The kids can have a dialogue with you. So what does this mean? They could reply to you, or they could resolve the issue. They could actually go back and add to their text and fix it, and they could just keep on working down each comment. So they could reply to you and maybe give you some insight as to what they were thinking, or they can resolve it. When you resolve, there's a little checkbox, and that comment disappears. So you can resolve this, or you can reply. So what I did in this case is instead of clicking on the text, I actually just clicked on the comment itself, and I read the comment, and I can reply to the comment, or I can resolve the comment. So this is a quick way that teachers can offer instant feedback to students. So once again, I want to thank everyone for coming this morning. Please watch this recap as often as you need to. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll keep on communicating and keep on sharing with you, and hopefully over the course of the year we'll do some great things. Thanks again, guys.